Classic Game Reviews here, and I'm doing Brothers in Arms Roadhill 30. Okay, so let's get this done. Okay, so let's start off with Brothers in Arms. If you don't know what Brothers in Arms is, it's a World War II shooter game for the Xbox, PS2, and PC. I'm not going to rant about the platforms or anything, since they're all amazing. Since all copies of the game are actually really fun and just amazing to play. Now, the story of the game is basically World War II, as you play the story of Matt Baker, a former squad leader, which he reminds you that you didn't want to be part of a squad leader, and then he doesn't really want to command their squad. So, Matt has a lot of experience off the last game, Earned in Blood, which wasn't very popular. In fact, it was kind of a secret game that never really spun off very much, if I remember correctly. The game is basically saying about his last past, as it's set into a third-person perspective, as he's talking about this and not actually living it. So basically, the first game was you play as Guru Hardsuk. You don't play as him anymore, and you play as Matt Baker. Matt is a lot more better and doesn't scream and shout all the time. In fact, he's a lot more better person. He's not what Joe was. I don't like Joe as a character, neither did many people. In fact, the second game, which is this one, was that made the whole franchise really good. A lot of people were put off by Hell's Highway, but like I said before, I'm not going to comment on that game. The gameplay was unique, especially for its time, and even today I would play it for just hours on end without being bored. The game uses cover and flanking systems, which can seriously be really helpful, since you're not actually just running and shooting like other Xbox or PS2 or PC old shoot 'em up games. In fact, it's very strategy, and it actually needs to make you seriously think about where you're going. The game offers a map system, which you can kind of flip to whenever you really want to. It shows you everything, in fact where your enemies are if you've actually seen them, and whereabouts they're actually positioned. Also flanking positions if you actually have a look closely enough. I'm going to comment on the detail here, and the detail is extremely high. You can tell that Gearbox, that was it, have seriously thought about planning on this game and haven't just rushed it in like a year. In fact, this game for me feels like one of the most finished and best World War II games I've ever played. I can't really comment on why anybody wouldn't like this game or even prefer the first one over the second one, which would be extremely high, and just you would be a bit of a noob if you said that. Since the game improves a lot over the first game, I'll go over some of the improvements. First of all, in the first game it was just impossible to actually kill an enemy with a rifle. Thank God they've actually went over that, and you can actually kill them now with a machine gun. Damage system isn't just too stupid anymore. Like on the first game, you could die within one hit. That is kind of realistic, but they have took it off for many reasons. One was the first game was a bit over the top realism, and for the time was kind of a big leap. It was kind of like a leap of faith if you think of it. All the games are arcade, and then it comes to this game and it's a realistic game, like Battlefield compared to Call of Duty. Now the graphics in the game is amazing. I don't care what people say. Especially for a 2005 game, I think the graphics are stunning. Especially on the Xbox and PS2 version. I think the Xbox and PC version. The PS2 kind of made it like doesn't really have much of a drawing distance, and you can really tell that they've just covered it up with more fog and stuff like that to try and make it look better. I love how the grass and environments can be torn up and goes into the camera if a machine gun is shooting nearby. Just this detail actually makes the game feel like you're in 1944 fighting the Germans in Normandy. The controls in the game are just amazing. I'm sorry about that. They are really good. In fact, I'm actually loving the controls. Most modern day FPSs even today aren't nearly as good controls as what they are here. It's easy to navigate all the buttons, as well as memorable button selection. I think I played a few games back FPSs that were just horrible controls, and I have to admit, this does add to the experience that is awesome. The game also offers some definite replay value. The harder editions are extremely hard, and anybody that actually completed that, you are awarded a medal. So like I said before, the detail's unreal. The amount of fun in this game is uploading. Now the good thing, do you know them loading times in the first game took forever to load? It's not so bad now, it's actually really quick, especially on the Xbox version. It's not too long to load up a 2-hour game. A 2-hour game mission, which is really good. But this game does have some minor problems. They took up skirmish mode, which was like a zombie round kind of thing, but with no zombies in. It was rounds of Germans versus you, or rounds of Americans if you were German. They took that off, no one really knows why, but to be honest you don't really feel like you need it very much. I think they only added in that because the gameplay was quite bad on just normal, on the story. Co-op has been improved, and I think you can even play as a German versus the Americans, which is really fun, and like I said before, replay is very high, just to knock around with. So graphics is high, sound is amazingly well done, recoil, just amazing recoil, and guns feel so realistic, you just want to play more and more and more. So I'm going to give this game an easy 10 out of 10. There's not anything I could say that's bad about this game. In fact, everything's positive, so that's a good way to start off a review. Full written review, classic game reviews, www.classicgamereviews, webs.com. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.